the Ninja Life Coach. I wanted to talk with you real briefly today about King David and a story that's found in 1 Samuel 30 about David. And I think this particular story has some great life lessons that we can take away today, and it will help us move forward with our lives. And this particular story, David and his band of brothers, if you will, a band of warriors had been out and they had been fighting and they were coming home from war. When they got home, they found that another group of people had been in and they had came in, attacked that village, and had stolen their wives, their children, their sons, their daughters. They were gone. They were kidnapped. And David's people got really, really upset with him and wanted to actually kill him. I'm sure this was a time when David, this was a bad time in his life. I mean, I can only imagine if I had been out to war trying to fight for people, trying to, secure a home for them, come home, find my entire family gone, and not only that, but my own band of brothers and sisters wanting to kill me. I can only imagine how badly that felt. David did three things, though. The first thing David did was he strengthened himself in the Lord. Now, the Old King James uses the word encouraged instead of strengthened, but I think those words kind of go hand in hand. The second thing that David did was he asked the Lord, "What do you want me to do?" Smart thing to do. The third thing he did was when God gave him instructions, he did them. Now, when we look at this from a modern day perspective, we have to say, okay, when we come up against adversity like David did in that particular story, the first thing that we need to do is to strengthen and encourage ourselves in the Lord. How do we do that? The number one thing that we can do is to read God's Word. Find verses in the Bible that pertain to your situation. Don't just pluck them out of context, but find something that you feel like that pertains to your situation. Look them up and read them. Think about them. Meditate on them. Just let them get down deep into your spirit till you know them by heart. When you do that, encouragement follows. You become encouraged by those words that God spoke, because they're just as powerful now as they were when David was encouraging himself in the Lord. The second thing, asking God. So once we've encouraged ourselves and strengthened ourselves, and we kind of know, we've built up that relationship with God, the next thing we do is we say, okay, God, I've strengthened myself, I'm encouraged. What do I do? Now, here's where the rubber meets the road. We ask God what we need to do. Oftentimes when we ask God what we need to do, we might not like that answer. It may be something that we don't want to do. We just don't want to. We want to just sit back and we want it to be the easy thing. And that brings us to our third point is David, when God told him to do something, the third thing he did was he did it. God said, go get your people back. And David did. This is where it gets really hard, folks, because the Lord doesn't always tell us something easy to do. So here's the obstacle. Here's the obstacle in our life. What are we going to do to get around it? Are we going to do those things that are difficult and come up in our lives that stop us? Or are we going to move past that and go? That's where we really, really oftentimes get stuck in life. Because a lot of times the things that God calls us to do are not things we want to do. We just don't want to do them because they're hard. But I would encourage you today in the Lord, do that difficult thing. Sometimes, hey, it's an easy thing. Sometimes it's just, we'll go over here and talk to this person. It may be, like go talk to them. But it could be something like, okay, you've got unforgiveness in your heart and you need to get that out. It could be something difficult like that, and that is hard. That's a hard thing. Whatever it is, we need to look past that to the end result. The end result is if we do these three things and do them like David did with all his heart, all his strength, and all his might, We are going to move forward into victory like David did. Now, I'm not going to tell you there's not going to be obstacles. I'm not going to tell you that the enemy of our soul is not going to try to stop us. He has. He's tried to stop me this week several times. But ultimately, my strength and my encouragement comes from the Lord. As much as I love my family, my encouragement doesn't come from them. My strength doesn't come from them. Yes, there have been times when my family and friends have helped me with things. There have been times when they've strengthened me with their prayers. But at the end of the day, that strength is between me and God. I don't have to ask them what I'm going to do. I have to answer to what does God want Elaine to do. And then when God tells Elaine what to do, she's got to go do it. I just want to encourage you today to take that step. What's stopping you today? You know what it is. What's stopping you from moving forward? That's the thing that will keep you stuck. Visit my website, Ninja Life Coaching. Have a wonderful day. God bless. Maranatha.